You are live.
Welcome to the best sports betting show on the planet. This is WagerTalk Today. I am your host, Andy Lang. It's a very, very big college football Wednesday. Jesse is going to join us to break down three college football teams. And then we're going to talk with Ronald Cabang for some WNBA action on the board. Of course, we got all around the world with some free plays from some various sports. So let's get started. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hit the like button. You guys know what to do. Gianni is not here. Gianni's recording. He's going to be recording on Wednesdays. So I'll do your Steam report here. Not a lot going on in WNBA. In fact, I kind of got nothing. No big moves. I mean, the Connecticut Sun are minus 3.5 point favorites, which is just insane to me. I'm going to bring that up with Ronald. We do have some big moves in MLB. Ton of money coming on Milwaukee, and they are not shy about hammering that big number, and it makes sense. They opened at minus 190. DraftKings all the way up to minus 266, so not shy, and they're also not shy about hitting St. Louis. St. Louis opened minus 200. I see they're up to minus 240, 245 on some books. There was another one. Looks like there's money coming in on Cincinnati with Green on the mound there. A little bit of money coming in on the over in Atlanta, and the Mets moved to the American League. Not a lot going on in the American League. A little bit coming in on Boston with Buehler on the mound. Tampa Bay's taking a little bit of money. Kansas City's taking a little bit of money against Washington. And I think that's about it. By far, the biggest move is on this Milwaukee Brewers team. So apparently everybody's riding the streak with Milwaukee. I did a free play video on their team total. Their team total's 4.5, and I can't take the under on them. They absolutely shelled Skeens, which I don't think anybody saw coming, but sometimes you just got to ride a hot offense. But that being said, today would be the day that they go out and lay an egg when everybody's trying to ride the streak. So, but looks like every penny is on the Milwaukee Brewers today. So, all right. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope everyone had a great $5 Tuesday. My $5 Tuesday play lost on Contender Series in one of the most bizarre fights I have ever seen in my entire life. Not just on Contender Series, but ever. It was a bizarro night in Contender Series. Maybe I'll talk about it a little bit later because it was one show I walked away with a life lesson. And it kind of kept me in check personally and professionally. But more on that later. Let's bring in Jesse, and we're going to talk some college football here, Jesse. So happy Wednesday. Hope everything's going good for you. How have you been? And it's go time. We're gearing up for college football. Yes.
Yeah, I've been working for the last 6 weeks, putting out videos on every game in week 0 and week 1. And I'm getting really excited. College football about to kick off here next Saturday. And I'm on my tour here on WagerTalk TV, trying to alienate myself from every fan base in the country. Because every time you pick a college football game, the team you're picking against, their fan base comes after you.
Well, let's make a few more fan bases mad. Let's talk to these Penn State fools, these Baylor fools, and these Southern Miss fools. Let's talk about these fan bases and why their teams may disappoint. What you got today?
Yeah, I'm looking at Penn State, yeah, I was really surprised to see them ranked number 2 in the AP poll. And I think we all thought Ohio State would be ranked number 2, and that Ohio State-Texas game would be 1-2, the 1 and 2 ranked teams, and instead it's Penn State ranked number 2 overall, and I certainly have to think Penn State is overrated. I mean, this is a team that's always a contender. They're always very good. I expect them to be very good again this year. 13-3 last year. They went deep into the playoffs, but at the end of the day, they don't ever seem to get it done. James Franklin, 3-17 straight up against top 10 teams, 4-16 against Ohio State, Michigan, 1-9 straight up against Ohio State. And Drew Aller as a quarterback, he puts up solid numbers. He's not bad. He's okay. But in the big games, you look at his numbers. In the playoffs last year, he's throwing for like 145 yards, touchdowns, and a pick. Nothing about Drew Aller tells me he's a big game quarterback ready to lead Penn State to a national championship. And when they open the season ranked number 2 overall, that's basically saying they're expected to win the Big Ten, go to the national championship game, And I think that's asking too much of a James Franklin Penn State team with Drew Aller at quarterback. But I can tell you the reason why they're so highly rated, why so many bettors love them. Penn State is 36-0 straight up in their last 36 games when favored by a touchdown or more. And they're 27-8-1 against the spread in those games. And that's something that won't be lost with bettors or bookmakers. And it's going to be hard for that team not to be overrated with against the spread numbers and trends like that. We know bettors follow these trends. It's going to be hard to get money against Penn State, and I think that might provide an opportunity when all the money's on Penn State and that number gets a little bit inflated. There may be some opportunities to fade the Nittany Lions this season.
I like it. A friend of mine, he echoes your sentiments. He's like, this is a fade. Also, man, that loss on defense, man. That guy wrecked teams. Like I watched him single-handedly dominate games for Penn State. So big losses.
They do have studs though. They got studs on defense. I mean, they can play defense, they can run the ball, but they don't have that extra, that quarterback that's going to lead that fourth down, come from behind, like most of the elite teams. Like the national championship team probably is going to have a quarterback that can do that. I don't think they have that.
Well, let's move to Baylor. Let's talk about Baylor a little bit. Why do you think they're going to come up a little bit low on expectations?
Baylor's not bad. Anybody can win the Big 12. The Big 12's full of dark horses. I mean, there's just not that much separation between the first-ranked Big 12 team and the seventh-ranked Big 12 team. But it seems like everybody and their dog is picking Baylor as their dark horse team this year. And I can see why. They closed the season on a 6-game winning streak last year. They kind of have the pedigree. Dave Aranda gets a lot of respect as a head coach. I don't have anything against him. I'm not saying I think he's bad or anything, but the 6-game winning streak, I think that's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. I mean, their schedule was sort of front-loaded. They lost to the better teams that they played, and they won 6 straight games against the weaker teams. And to me, coming into this season, to think that this team's going to go all the way, win the Big 12, and make the playoffs is a stretch. Their quarterback, Sawyer Robertson, he put up some pretty solid numbers overall for the season last year, but much like the Baylor Bears as a team, a lot of the damage was done against the weaker opponents, and in the big games against the better team, numbers weren't there. Phil Steele's picking Baylor to win the Big 12 this year. I just totally disagree with that. I think Phil Steele might have had too many cocktails before he did his Big 12 preview. I'm not buying the hype with the Baylor Bears.
Oh, last shots fired. Southern Miss. What do you not like about them?
Well, people are probably wondering, why are we even talking about Southern Miss? They're not even the favorite to win the Sun Belt. They're probably not going to get anywhere near the playoffs, but there's a lot of hype surrounding this Southern Miss team, and this team represents a shift in college football philosophy. How do you build a winner in college football? And the traditional way of thinking was always, you get a good coach, you recruit well, you develop talent, you build a culture, and in year 3 of the program under that head coach, you hope to hit lightning in a bottle. Everything sort of clicks, and you might win a conference championship or a national championship. But these days, people have seen the likes of Kurt Signetti go to Indiana, bring a couple players with them, and make the playoffs in the first year. Or Deion Sanders in Colorado with Travis Hunter and his son Shadur having success right away. And a lot of people are pointing to this Southern Miss team and using those examples, saying this is what's going to happen at Southern Miss with the hire of Charlie Huff from Marshall. Marshall was the Sun Belt champs last year, and Huff is bringing in 20 players from his Marshall team. And there's been a lot of line movement in the week 1 matchup against Mississippi State. Mississippi State opened as a 15.5-point favorite. That's been bet down to 10.5. Much like Baylor, there's a lot of hype surrounding this Southern Miss team. And to be honest with you, I'm just not buying it. I'm looking at the quarterback, Braylon Braxton. He threw for just over 1,600 yards and 19 touchdowns last year. Probably a serviceable quarterback. But when you compare to Kurt Signetti, had Curtis Rourke and Dion had Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter. All the best players from Marshall don't move the needle that much for me with Southern Miss that I think they're going to go and upset an SEC team in week 1 or go on to be a top 25 team or anything like that. At the end of the day, even Charlie Huff's Marshall team got shellacked when they played ranked teams in non-conference play. So I just want to dial it back and with the philosophy of this, let's get it done in 1 year with the transfer portal and hiring a coach that's bringing players over. I think more the traditional recruiting and developing players is still going to be the way moving forward. And one thing is everybody remembers Kurt Cignetti's success at Indiana. Nobody remembers Scott Frost at Nebraska failing with the same game plan. So I just don't think it's going to work out every time the way it worked out for Cignetti at Indiana.
Well, we owe Cignetti everything as a guy who graduated from IU. I never in my lifetime did I think IU football would be relevant, let alone exciting to watch. So that last year was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Do you have any thoughts on my Hoosiers?
I think they're going to be good again this year. I mean, they got a favorable schedule. They brought in an adequate replacement at quarterback. I think they're going to be just fine.
Sucking up will get you everywhere, Jesse. Nice, nice job.
Just calling it how I see it.
Great job breaking those teams down. And I'm assuming you're talking about, hey, maybe at the beginning of the year we can get some favorable spreads against these teams in the first few weeks before the markets catch up. Is that how you're looking at these guys?
Definitely. Like I said, with Penn State, when you look at the ATS numbers, when they've been a favorite, they've been a great bet as a favorite, and everybody knows that. And anytime you have a trend that just gets out of control, bookmakers are forced to make adjustments. Everybody and their dog knows about these trends and continues to follow them. And eventually the pendulum of the value will swing the other way.
Great segment, Jesse. That's a great breakdown on all those teams. You're running an incredible special here with NFL, with college football, with CFL, and we'll throw in MLB. So tell everyone about that.
Yeah, we're giving away the rest of the Major League Baseball season and the CFL season with the purchase of my all-access college and pro football package. That's priced at $777. Killing it with baseball this year, and even better with CFL. I'm actually hitting 73% with my CFL picks this season.
Great stuff, Jesse. Great records in those, and I know you're one of the busiest guys during football season. So let's have a great college football season, and thanks so much for your breakdowns. Have a great day. Jesse, everybody, let's bring in Ronald Cabang, and let's just keep it going. Let's talk a little WNBA. We got a pretty loaded slate. Ronald, you're going to break down Liberty and Aces, but come on, Ronald. The Connecticut Sun are going to be 3.5-point favorites. What are we doing here? Are we going to let the books get away with that?
It's tough, man. It's tough just because both teams are so terrible right now. I actually do have a play on this game, but it's definitely not on the side. I'll say this. I continue to say this with the WNBA. Man, if you get in early and you are able to originate your numbers, you can get really great numbers because every single play that I gave out last night, I gave out 4 yesterday, all positive CLV by at least 1 point or 1.5 points. So you can definitely, if that's the goal, and you hear Yanni say it all the time, if CLV is the goal for a lot of these people, WNBA is one of the best spots to do it right now.
All right, well, let's break down this Liberty and Aces game. I mean, listen, you got the Aces that won 4 wins in a row. Liberty, they won 4 out of 5. 2 teams that are playing the opposite of the sky and the sun. We'll just say that right now. So what's your breakdown on this game? Marquee matchup today.
Yeah, so yesterday I was on the wrong side of that Liberty game, so I took the L there. But this is their second game of a West Coast road trip. And typically when they travel cross country, and we talked about this in the NBA a lot, it's that second game when you travel multiple time zones where you get that lag. And that's this game tonight against the Aces. Second game of a back-to-back, like I mentioned, the 105-97 win. So potential negative regression on the offensive side of the ball, actually on both sides of the ball here. Obviously, Miesemann has really helped his Liberty team get back on track after really struggling without Brianna Stewart initially. It took a couple games for Miesemann to get her, her normal minutes up, but she's there now, and they got the win. And that was actually their first cover in a long time yesterday. They also have a potential look ahead to the Lynx up next. And then the Aces side, you mentioned how great they've been playing. They won 6 of their last 7 games. From a matchup perspective, Liberty have won and covered both matchups so far this season. Obviously, both of those had Brianna Stewart, and also they were both in New York. This is the first one in Vegas. If you're looking at recent form, Aces 5th in offensive rating, but dead last in defensive rating. Liberty, after yesterday's game, 4th in offensive rating, but prior to that, they were down towards the bottom of the league. So it just goes to show how crazy they went yesterday against that Sparks defense. Liberty is dead last in rebounding rate, and the Aces are first in offensive rebound and second chance points per game. So that's going to be a huge advantage for the Aces side. Sparks did a great job of taking advantage of the paint yesterday. I think the Aces are going to be able to do that even more efficiently with Asia. From a trend perspective, Aces 8-3 to the team total over as home favorites. Liberty 0-4 ATS and 4-0 to the over as underdogs this season, meaning that their opponent went over their team total in all 4 games. Last time the Liberty put up 100 points, they ended up struggling the next game. Mystics covered and went over their team total, and the game went over. So a lot of trend stats and situational stuff pointing towards one outcome here, and that's towards the Aces team total over 86.5.
All right, I like that, Ronald. SF Niner, Dallas Wings. I don't think the Wings play tonight, do they? Sky Sun.
They played yesterday against the Fever.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Well, we don't need you to break down that game. We watched it. Easy under, by the way, on that. The line, there was a big line move up, and I was like, "You kidding?"
It went up to like 173, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty mad I didn't take it.
Me too. I did as a free play on this show. I think it hit by like under 12 points. Whatever. So, all right. Let's. You mentioned it's NFL season. You mentioned there was an NFL future you may have your eye on. What was that one?
Yeah, I actually broke this down on Beeson a couple of nights ago, and probably the Detroit office won't like this, but I took the Detroit Lions under 10.5 wins this season. When I broke it down, I saw around 130 to 140. I think it might still be in that range. And I think it's still a good bet in that range. I think they have one of the toughest schedules in the league. I did some research, and if I looked at multiple websites, they're typically top 3, top 4 in toughest schedules in the league. So one thing to mention, the NFC North, obviously very competitive. If you look at their win totals for every single team in that division, 8.5 or higher. Their non-divisional road schedule is tough. Bengals, Chiefs, Commanders, Eagles, Ravens, and Rams. All of those teams have a projected win total of 9.5 or more. So a lot of those things kind of point towards obviously a tough schedule. I know the Lions, one of the biggest things that the Lions were known for last season was their ability to perform on the road. 8-0 on the road last season. I think one of those types of records are, to me, not sustainable year after year. Those things are going to change. I think they have 9 road games compared to 8 home games this season. So that's going to be a potential negative regression for them. And I think some of the other things to mention, 4-0 in games decided in a field goal or less, that's also something that's not sustainable. That number might flip-flop, and that's going to take their team total down. I think both offense and defensive coordinators, if I'm not mistaken, they're both gone. So this might set them back a little bit also earlier in the season. So there's just a ton of things that's pointing towards negative regression as far as on the win total, and their offensive line took a hit. That's one of their biggest advantages, especially last season. You could tell a lot of the games were won on the line, and that's where they really struggled. Or that's where they're going to really struggle this season with some of the changes. So, yeah, those are some of the things that I was looking at. Even with Dan Campbell back, I think 10.5 wins might be too much.
All right, I like that one. I agree with it. I think me and Dan both picked the under on that one as well.
So you did? Okay.
Oh yeah. Of course. Like, screams regression. Like it almost screams regression too much.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of scared of. But yeah, I like it.
Ronald, you're running a special over at WagerTalk. Tell us about that.
Yeah, they just put this together yesterday. Rest of the 2025 year the calendar year for 777. So that covers the rest of the WNBA season, NFL, NBA. Obviously, what most people kind of knew me for before WNBA. NFL actually has been really great since 2022. Number one in NFL sides, ATS numbers. NFL and college football last season hit 86 over 86%. Sorry, 56% last season. So football and basketball, both of those key sports are going to be going on for the rest of the year. If you want to take advantage of that, go and ride with me there at WagerTalk.
Love it. Ronald Cabang, great breakdown. WNBA, great breakdown on an NFL future. Thank you very much. Have a great Wednesday, Ronald.
Peace.
All right. Well, Bruce, you asked for it, man. Andy's best bet of the day? Well, we got all around the world coming up here, Bruce. Let's go ahead and do that. So, yeah, we got some free plays here. I think you're going to like this first one. If you guys like chasing plus money, let's get right to it. So, Lerone Murphy plus 154 versus Aaron Pico. I don't understand this line. These Bellator guys have not looked good. Like, in fact, they've looked bad when they're making their UFC debut, and it feels like the UFC is wanting them to have really tough matchups so they lose. And Lerone Murphy is undefeated, and I have not been a Lerone Murphy guy. My God, has he looked great his last few fights. He showed cardio, he showed durability, he showed great movement, he showed good defense, he showed really good striking. And Aaron Pico, his last couple opponents were not good opponents. Pico's got that big left hooked. He'd use it to the body, use it to the head, and Murphy can stay out of the way of that. I think this plus 154 it's a stunner to me. So I'm looking at Murphy plus 154 here. We'll go to UEFA. This is from Carm. Tottenham at PSG. This is like a same game parlay. PSG to win plus over 2.5 goals here. Tottenham's dealing with a ton of injuries and a lot of travel. Carm thinks if they get behind, they may just pull everybody and put a bunch of subs in to get them some playing time. Meanwhile, PSG is rested. They're coming off of lots of titles. Last year was a great year for them. They have most of their starters available. So, and then we'll take a look at plus money here. This is from Drew Martin on the Miami Marlins. Interesting point here for Williams, the Cleveland pitcher. Threw 125 pitches last game, and the Marlins, one of the most patient lineups. They take a lot of pitches. So we could be looking at a shaky starter. These pitchers that throw for well over 100 pitches typically don't do well. Perez for Miami, he had a bad outing last time, but 6 solid starts before that. It's a nice bounce back look. So give you guys some plus money there. The strategist wants a team total. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Brewers over 4.5. They've been shelling everybody. Just keep riding the streak until they go under for a couple games. I'm not getting in front of that train. They're not going to win the rest of their games with those scores, but they get a great pitching matchup. So that one didn't make the card officially, but I would be looking hard at the Brewers over 4.5 on the team total. All right, we have 7 days of nonstop action for just $69. And after this, guys, I'm going to do my recap from next week. And some of you have asked or said that you really like the bankroll management. So I'm just going to show you my portfolio professionally. We'll see how it works. But if you want 7 days of nonstop action for just $69, that's less than $10 a day. Every single play from your WagerTalk handicapper. There's NFL preseason. There's MLB. There's UFC. There's WNBA. There's soccer. There's golf. You name it, it's covered. Don't forget, soccer starts big time this weekend. So stick with your go-to expert or mix it up with Flex Access. You get all the control. That's the beauty of Flex Picks. I have 2 5% plays that go off on Saturday. You can use me on Saturday and use somebody else on Sunday, use somebody else the Friday before. So it's one crazy low price. This is the same price as a 3-day pass. So jump on it now. Let's cash all week long. Good luck on all your plays. All right. Let's do the recap here, Chris. So I didn't do the recap because my voice was dying earlier in the week. So we had kind of a ho-hum week last week. I mean, you're never going to be upset if you're profitable. That's the name of the game. So golf went 1-2. That was a little bummer. The big loss was in tennis. I'm not really concerned about that. Corbin's tennis plays will be just fine. The big winner was MMA. We hit the 5% play along with another play. So 2-0 on that one. Auto racing continues to be a really nice source of income, just chipping away those 2% plays. Lacrosse, Dan did a great job with that. NFL preseason. I'm liking our reads on NFL preseason. So we only had one official play for clients, but we paper traded quite a few and did really, really well. Other than that, 2-1 in WNBA. We lost our only MLB play, and our cross-sport parlays went 1-1. So you end up with 9 and 8 plus 2.1 units if you followed the Wager Talk. If you flat bet, you're probably down. You're probably closer to even than up, but we all know how the 5% play goes. You hit your 5% play, that's a big deal for us. So, and I'll just, hey, listen, I'll be open. We'll share my personal portfolio with everybody. You know what's going on kind of in my life, Chris, if you have that graphic. Sports betting bankroll is down some for the year. We got a ways to go. I'm fine with where we're at. My production company, we're having our best year ever. So what we're doing with all the extra cash, we're aggressively paying off debt, and we're saving hard for the winter. The stocks and crypto, if you guys are into that, it's been really, really good. I expect some regression on that. And I'm launching a brand new business, which is just ridiculously expensive. So my summary, I'm cash poor right now. When I'm investing in a new business, there's just not a lot of cash around. I probably will be for 6 to 12 months while I'm building businesses, but my long-term assets look really, really strong. But personally, I just got to weather the storm and get this business launched for the next 6 to 12 months. So, that's my portfolio. If you found it interesting, leave a comment. If you want me to talk about it from time to time, I'm more than happy to share my journey and share the steps along the way. So, all right. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. It was a very, very quick show. And yeah, Gianni's not going to be here on Wednesdays. They're going to record Bet on It. That's a juggernaut. So they got to record that way it can come out in the afternoon. So for football season, he won't be here on Wednesdays. So thank you, Ethan. It's your guys' show. I'll talk about whatever you guys want. So you guys enjoy seeing it, then I'll talk about it here or there. So don't forget to hit the like button, guys, and subscribe to the Wager Talk channel. Be a part of the Wager Talk YouTube family, and take advantage of those flex picks. I have a golf best bet that is up for Live Golf, which I will be going to this weekend. It's 20 minutes away from my house in Indianapolis, and I got 2 5% plays up in PFL and in UFC. So you get 2 5% plays in one pack. So 3-day pass starting on Friday might be a wise investment. So thank you very much for joining us, guys. Appreciate you. Good luck on all your bets. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.